Yeah.
I always thought, I can't imagine today, if, let's say I wasn't doing comedy. This was not happening. I was working at a car wash, and I found out Rudy Sarzo did a podcast. I listened to it. I was a fan of yours in 1981. I saw the pictures, I read the articles, but I know if I listen to you, I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to tell you who I fucking hated. I'll tell you who I fucking hated for years. I liked the band, but I didn't like looking at them, except for Tommy Lee. Tommy Lee I could tolerate. The other three I couldn't tolerate. Now, today, I kind of like Mickey Six. Mm-hmm. Why? Because of that fucking radio show.
Oh, yeah.
And even though he's a dick on that radio show to people sometimes, come with it. I like it. Because it shows me who he is.
Yeah.
Now I know who he was in that band.
Yeah.
By listening to him on the radio, now I know who he was in that band and why that band was successful. That was Motley Crue, but that was Nicky's band. You know, you listen and I can't imagine at this point not doing a podcast. I always knew that if I could get my story out there and explain to people what happened, as bad, as good as it was, that I'd do a little better. And I was correct. Because when you're on stage, the whole time guy's making jokes and then he leaves, and maybe you might follow him on social media, you don't really get to know the real him. I know people that have come up to me and said, I really don't like your material, but you answered my email back. And I came here because of that character. I emailed 3 other comics. They didn't email me back. You follow me? So it gets to see people, the other aspects of your life. Lets us see people that you are a dog lover. When I'm on stage and I'm watching you hitting your head up and down like a fucking zombo on the bass, I don't even know. I think you leave there and run over animals. Right? If you saw somebody on stage doing this for 2 hours, they leave and they hit a dog with an animal. They don't give a fuck. Their brain is shattered from CTE.
Yeah.
I got to know you were an animal lover. You know, These are the things that at the end of the day, people really want. Everybody's got a poster on their wall. That's why I hate when celebrity, if you get a fucking Twitter account, twit. Don't give me the false hope that you're not going to tweet. Tweet. You open up an account to interact, to keep you relevant. Tweet. If somebody says I was your biggest fan growing up, take the 2 minutes and go, hey, man, thank you, even though I retired from basketball in 1989. There's still 50-year-olds that still remember you. I think it's very important. Think of if you had a show, if you were on Seinfeld, one of the biggest shows of our time, or Friends. Once those shows end, you got so much money, you really don't want to do dick the first 6 months. You've been overwhelmed with questions and stupidities and jokes and 6 days a week and 80 hours. But after those 6 months, now comes Mike and Molly, and you lose those fans to Mike and Molly. No more. You can retain 50% of that fan base by telling the people how your experiences were on that show and blah, 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 blah. And now what do they got? They got a fucking cash register. I don't like them. I personally couldn't go to them and sit there, but they got a thing called Comic-Con, right? And Music-Con. You could go there with headshots and fucking drumsticks and make $500,000 a year. Nobody knows what the fuck you're doing. You could tell the government you sold one drumstick and you shoved it up your ass and it broke. And they don't know if you're selling 50 or 100. It's even a bigger scam. This microphone doesn't guarantee you a bunch of stuff. It guarantees relevancy. If you were in a band for 10 years and if you retain 33 friends, then we'll start with 33 people. And we'll work it upwards. And then Keisha Turho girlfriend. Do you listen to Joey Diaz? No, I listen to Rudy Sarzo. What's Rudy? The bass player? What the fuck's he talking about? Listen. And I go there to hear you talk about, I remember snorting coke with Ozzy, and he stuck a finger up my ass. No, and all of a sudden you're a human being. You're a human being, Rudy. You're talking about Christ and about the dogs and about opening up for Uriah Heep and these new bass lines you're working at, and you know, you're working on animation. Now I'm like, fuck, I'm into Rudy. This is not what I expected. I wanted to hear him talk about Ozzy and snorting ants with Motley Crue and hitting people on the head with bottles. You're not mentioning that. You know, I always make it a point here on this show not to talk about what people want me to talk about.
And that's exactly what I learned from you. Because I think this is my fourth podcast.
Fourth or fifth or eighth?
Yeah. And,
but you've done other ones, and I've listened to the other ones, and you're great on them.
Yeah. But, you know, there's something, there's definitely a specific connection from where we come from that it's a little bit deeper, you know, from the other conversations that I have, because we get to talk about things that I don't get to talk about with everybody, you know. So the connection gets a little, you know, deeper, more profound, you know. But it's the honesty in the show. Your show is a very honest show, and I learned that, and that's what I try to do on my podcast. Because as a musician, you know, first I started playing music because I saw the Beatles and the chicks were screaming at the Beatles, and I want that. You know, I wasn't a musician. I was just a guy that wanted to be noticed by chicks, right? And then later on, you know, I stuck with it and became a musician and realized that what we do, every single note that we play, we're looking for the truth. The truth. There's a lot of bullshit in life. We're bombarded by bullshit, man. And if I can put my bass on and I'm all by myself sitting on my sofa with my little amplifier next to me and my guitar and my little dog and the back of my neck sitting on top of the couch, and I just sit there, and I'm not trying to impress anybody. I'm just looking for the truth. I'm looking for that. What I'm going to play now is going to move me. Move me in a way that I have not been moved before. I'm not even in front of hundreds of thousands of people, you know, and that is something, that honesty is what I live for. You know, every day I try to remove more bullshit that gets in the way of my creativity. Every day, because they're just distractions, you know. And this is what I learned from doing your podcast. Keeping it real, keeping it honest.
I don't even like that we're in the comedy category. We're going in like fucking Marines, you understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.